Hello and welcome to part 2 of file folders from scratch. In the last video we made these two file folders, one bigger, one smaller, like this and this one. Today I'll show you how to make a mini journal with the smaller folder. I just put a mini journal in here, but we're going to sew it. But first I have to show you some things else. I've recognized that I used the dull blade of my paper cutter, looking like this, yeah, to make the scoring. But since this is natural to me, it doesn't mean you have one of those. You might have a paper cutter with a sharp blade like this. But not all of them have two blades. Of course, for the most paper cutters you can buy these dull blades. You have to look for the right shape and size, and then you can buy these dull blades for scoring, but you don't need them. Easiest way to make a folding would be to use a ruler. Let me show you. Just take this tiny card, yes, line it up, and then just fold it over like this. Fold, okay, burnish it, and you have a straight fold. But that's not the only way. If you prefer to use this instead of your scoring board, you could easily use the tool of your scoring board. Some have these hooks on the back, at the end, and now this one doesn't fit. But you have the cutting line here, and you can lay your paper on there and just burnish, score. Sorry, score. Or take the dollar end, score with this. You could also use a knitting needle, very pointy. This one is 3 millimeters. If you are into knitting socks, you might have 2 millimeters, 2.5 millimeters. You could also just score it like this, or just like this, because the knitting needle fits in here. Yeah, of course, you could take a skewer too. These wooden skewers for barbecue, something like that. Or a crochet hook. Not the hook itself, but the back. This could also fit in here. Or in here, of course. What else? Oh, this is my favorite. A butter knife. Yes. The back of your butter knife is the perfect scoring tool. It fits in here where the blades go, and of course it fits in here. Something else? Oh yeah, I found something else. I have no idea what they are called. these pointy tools you use for, don't know, daubing with acrylic paint or for working with clay. Just find one of these tools that fits in here. Easy. If it's too wide, it will go like this. So now for our mini file folder we made in the last video. Of course, we want to decorate it. And I just like to ink it a bit, just to give it an aged look. I don't know if you can see it. No, you can't. Maybe a bit. This paper is really, really smooth. I don't think the ink will stay on here, so I use sanding blocks to again break the fibers. Maybe there might be some coating on there you can rub off easily. If you take these cereal boxes, there's a coating for sure on them, and you can rub them. You can rub the coating off with the sand blocks, just like this. I'll take the rough one. Don't know if you can see the difference. Yeah, yes, there. On this paper, feels kind of velvet. On this paper, the ink will stay much better. So we have sand block, or if you have one of these inking tools, there's a new product from Tim Holtz. This idea is wonderful, but most of the time I try to find my own way. So this is just a circle I cut out of some sandpaper you use for these machines. What are they called? I forgot. With Velcro on the back. Just cling it on, and you can sand your paper with your inking tool. I've sanded the whole folder on the inside and the outside, even the spots where I want to glue my decorations, because then the glue will hold much better. We're going to be using a signature in here. This one's way too big. In here, and want to sew it in. This fold is really flappy, so we want to cover it before we poke the holes and decorate the rest of the file folder. Okay, 3 possibilities. You could use washi tape in here. I don't trust the glue on the back of the washi tape, so I put some extra glue on there and then glue it in. You could also use some kind of masking tape. This is always laying around somewhere in our home, because I love to paint the walls in different colors now and then. But for this, I'll use medical tape. I love the structure, and it's nearly, it's translucent. Let me find the middle. Somewhere like here. You could cut it up, off, of course. I like to tear it. It's somewhat crooked. Oh, doesn't matter. That's much too long. And the medical tape stays. The glue on this tapes is really, really good. Some of these masking tapes, you'd have to use extra glue, like on this one, I don't know, like €1 for a roll, for one roll. Yeah, not the best. Medical tapes. I get my medical tapes out of our what they're called. First aid kit. You have to have them in your car in Germany, and exchange them once a year, I think. Don't remember. We just do it. Then you're left with all kind of stuff, and of course medical tapes. Perfect. So fold it again. Now we have this we have reinforced this and can easily poke through here without tearing the fold. Maybe, yeah, let me put some on the back. I don't put it all the way up and down because I don't mind the folder to tear at some point. Like at the top here or the bottom. Gives it a more vintage look, I think. Burnish again. Maybe burnish on the other side again. Just like this. And now, much stronger. I'll use Distress Oxide, Walnut Stain, because I like the combination of brown and green on these papers. Walnut Stain has a slightly greenish tone on it. Brown and green. So I love to use it for greens or yellows. I'll be inking the whole sheet, back and front, and then I'll be back. Well, I've inked the file folder all the way around and the middle part as well. This inking hasn't to be perfect science since we're going to decorate these 2 pages and these. But before we decorate, let's sew in a signature. First, build a signature. Take whatever paper you like. Matching paper, not matching paper, leftovers. These are sheets from a little notebook. So I just take some papers and just tear them with a ruler. You could also use one of these special tear rulers. I just used some tiny tongs and broke some pieces of this plastic ruler. Just push and rip off. There. You'll have a nice tearing. And now we want the signature to be somewhat like yay white. Yeah. Yeah. So fold it over. This will be your template for the other signatures. You know, I don't like to measure. Just tear it off. Slowly, because I'm left with a tiny edge. Push, push, push. So, the template for our signature, that goes in here. Stays a bit out, but you have here, whatever it's called, a frame left. There you can see the signature, exactly what I wanted. Yes. So, the other squares, let me see, this is a bit bigger. Let me take the other ruler just to show you the difference. Just taking the metal ruler, tear, again. Oh, this is crooked. This side. Again, somewhere over here, yeah, and tear, second page, and so on. I make this with all these papers, and then I'll show you how to sew them in. I'm done with all the pages for the signature. Maybe too much pages. Let's see. Let's put them together. I think like this. And the smaller one goes in here. Again, lovelies, this is not rocket science. One page smaller, one page bigger, doesn't matter. Really, doesn't matter. As long as it fits in your envelope or your folder, whatever, your bookcase. Just put something together. Maybe it's a bit, let's see. Yeah. See? I even folded one page over in here to make a tuck spot or expandable page. Don't know yet. This one was dedicated to go on the outside, like this. Yeah, could be too much. Let me see. I'll take this out. Sometimes you have to split up the signatures, even for your books with 3 or 4 signatures. Yeah, better. For the part where you sew in the signature in your file folder, we are going to be using loads of stuff. First, you want to have some clamps, some paper clips, something like these, or like these. I found them in a hardware store. much cheaper than from this big company, W somewhat R, or something like this binding clip. I love those because they hold the whole sheet. So now let's take our ruler just the signature we just made and clip in first paper clip like so. On the other side too. Like so. Let's adjust again. Tap a bit in the middle with your ruler and then clip on the next paper clips bit on the outside of your signature. You can lay it like this. You might want to fold it like this so you have the edges lined exactly. Signature clipped together, and now I've already made one. We need a template to poke the holes. Just look where you want to have your sewing on the file folder. I want to use three pamphlet stitch. So I want to have one in the middle, one up, one down. I am going to find the middle of this. It's, where's my pencil? Let me see, this is 16.6, so we have 8.3, somewhere like here. This is my middle. And here we want to find the middle too. It's much easier this way. Only the inner page has to be signed 15.6 centimeters, 7.8 middle over here. To make this template, you just have to take a strip of paper, fold it once in the middle, like so. And then you fold the outer edges to your middle fold, like so. Yeah. It's a bit more with me, like always. Again, middle fold, and bottom and top maybe 1.2 centimeters or 3/4 of an inch. And I don't know, yeah, you can see it. At the points where the lines cross, you make a dot, take a poking tool, just like this, and go in there. This is for a 3-signature journal. I just use the middle, it's easiest to fold. Instead of a poking tool, you could use a big needle So we're lining up this and poking in the middle, exactly where I marked it. Yes. Going in from the other side again, just to get rid of this what do you call it? Don't know. There. First hole. Line it up. You could also use a better way to make this would be to use a piece of paper that's exactly the same length. So you could clip it in and just lay down and poke. But I found this, so I'll use it. Okay, there you go. Again, the other way around. Also on this side. And now, again poking the middle, just pointing at our mark. Yeah, and just poke through, flat. Ta-da! First hole, again from the outside. Make sure the hole is big enough and not just ripped. Line it up. Find your poking point and poke through there somehow flat. See? You would have to repeat the lining, the lining up when the paper template, the poking template is too small. But we're getting there. Again, from the outside, also on this side. Now, this fits perfectly in here. With these papers, doesn't matter. If you have prints on your paper, please, please, please make sure you're sewing in your signature the right way. I tend to, sew it in upside down, take it apart, sew it in again, and still upside down, or something doesn't fit. Most of the time I have to sew in my signatures 3 times. As I said, doesn't matter with this, because we don't have any direction here. Blank and lined papers. This dearies is bookbinder's yarn. This is wax coated, and I've got the feeling it's much easier to use wax coated yarn. You can also use stitching yarn, cross stitch yarn. I was gifted this from my hubby's aunt. This is, don't know, like 30 or 40 years old, maybe 40 years old. No one has used it, had use for it. I have. So, as I said, wax coated yarn best. So you can just use this yarn on a piece of beeswax or a candle and pull it on the edge. Maybe you can see it. There, wax coated. Much easier and doesn't rip your paper. For the length, I like to use 1, 2 length plus 1 length, just to make it easier to knot. Okay. This is only for a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. With 5 holes, you use 1, 2, 3 times the length of your signature, book, whatever, plus 1 length to make it easier to knot. Again, 1, 2, 3 times the length for 3-hole pamphlet stitch. Now I have a, where is it? Where is it gone? I have a dull needle. I had a dull needle. Let me find it. I'll be back in a minute. Ah, there it is. In a minute. No, right now. Oh, I forgot to wax the yarn completely. Where did I start? Here did I start. Just pull it over the edge. Yeah. 1 time. Maybe 2 times. So it's coated with wax, paraffin, whatever. No. Now you have to decide which side you want to have it up and down, because I like to put some dangles on there. This one is on the outside of the signature itself. We can't make this here. We have to decide whether inside or outside. Normally I would put the dangle on the outside, but this folder will stay in here. And if you, I can't show you, if you close this, there would always be a dangle interrupting with this fold here. So I'll put the dangle on the inside. Therefore, I'm starting on the inside. Which side do I want to have top? I think I want to have the tab on top. So I'm starting on the inside. Pulling my thread like this. And then clip it on. Doesn't work this way, like this, so it doesn't go all the way through when I pull, and I will have to pull a little the outside of the signature, and now middle of the cover, lining up like so. This way, yes, this is the upside. Back through the top hole of the cover and the signature. Just pulling a little, and all the way down to the bottom of the signature and the cover. There. So, thread in the middle, loose end on the right side, this is important, Now we are going back through the middle hole of the signature and the cover. Let me find it. There you are. And this is why I don't sew it without first poking the holes, because we have the loose end, the first loose end we have on the right side, the second on the left. Let me show you. If I clip this, it'll be much better. Let me show you. Now I can easily pull and adjust my thread like this, because this thread on the right side, on the left side, this one in the middle, I didn't sew through one of these threads. Now you can pull, just a little. Make one knot, two knots, yeah, and it's sewn on the cover. With this thread you would have your dangles in the direction your journal stands, if it would stand, like so, always there. Wouldn't matter if it was this side, but I like to throw a whole overhand knot again with both threads and just push it all the way up to the other knots, to the two we just made, pulling the loose ends to the bottom there. And now if this is your top, yeah, just lace flat down. If it was this way, yeah, you would have some kind of curve. Let me sharpen this. Zack, zack. Oh, I like to hang it a bit. I said a bit out. Now I can put a dangle on here. Now you have your journal. Just lay it flat. Maybe you would like to lay it flat under some heavy books overnight, so it will stay close. And in the next video we're going to decorate this and maybe the other one. So see you for part 3 of file folders from scratch. Hope you've learned a little bit and have a nice week.